Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll discuss about how to create a test automation framework using Appium. In my last two videos, I have shown you guys that how you can use Appium for mobile automation. Today I will discuss about test automation framework. So what is a test automation framework? A test automation framework is essentially a set of guidelines for creating and designing test cases. Actually, it's a conceptual part of our automated testing that helps a tester to use and maintain resources more efficiently. Okay, so let's go to the tools and technologies I am going to use for this tutorial. So I'm going to use Java, Appium, TestNG, Cucumber, Maven, Extend, and IntelliJ for IDE. So there are certain steps to create and test automation framework. So these are the 20 steps to create and test automation framework. I am going to follow all of these steps one by one. Okay. So what is the first step? First step is that first it's not written here. You can install your IDE. Okay. So suppose I am thinking that you have IntelliJ installed in your system. So from that I'll start. So install the plugins for TestNG and Cucumber. Just open IntelliJ, go to the file, then settings, plugins, type the plugins you want to install, then click on install. So it will get installed. Under the installed, you can see that whatever the plugins already installed for in my system. Okay, you can see that these are the plugins I have installed. Next step is that create an Maven project, as we are going to use Maven as a build tool. How you can create a project in IntelliJ? Go to file, new project, give the name of a project, choose Maven as a build system, choose Java as a language, choose JDK if it is not there in your system. Click on create. It will create an empty Maven project. Not only Maven, it will create a Java project. Actually it will be looks like this. Okay, just an empty project. Next step, in the next step, that you have to add the dependencies in Pom file. So whatever the dependencies you require to create an automation framework, those dependencies we have to add here. I am going to use Appium for mobile automation, so I have to add here the Appium dependencies, and the TestNG I am going to use. So TestNG dependencies also I have to add here, and the Cucumber. So these are the dependencies I have to add. This is for TestNG, this is for Appium. This is not required. If you require, you can add. This is for selenium, this is for Cucumber. There is not only one dependency you have to add, there are multiple dependencies you have to add for Cucumber. Okay, and this is for Extend. So what is Extend and why I am going to use Extend, I'll come this part later. Now create resource folder under test. Before going to this point, I'll explain this one. There is a folder structure is required to create an test automation framework. Why this folder structure is required? This folder structure is required to organize your testing process. Not only that one, to use your resources more efficiently, this kind of folder structure is required. Okay, so when you create a Java project, you will get a project just like this. This is Java project. You will get main and test under src, and under main you will get Java, under test also you will get Java, but you will not get the resource folder like it's like the resource folder available under the main. Okay, if you see here, so though we are going to use this folder project for testing purpose, that's why I am using the test folder. So under the test folder, you can see that there is a Java folder is available and resource folder is not available. You can create the resource folder. How you can create the resource folder? Just right click on that one, new, directory, you can see that resource is already there. This is the Maven source directory. Okay, this resource one. And also you can see that under the Java I have created 4 different folders. These are the things, not for normal folder. These are the packages I have created. This one, page, steps, utils, runner. And under the resources I have created 2 folder. Those are folders, directories, not packages. That one is config, one is feature. Slowly you will get to know what is the purpose of these folders and packages and why this is required to maintain like this. Okay. So in the 5th step, I have already covered the 5th step, add the packages. I have already discussed with you guys. In the 6th, what I have seen that create a feature and writing test scenarios following the BDD rules. So here I am going to use Cucumber for following the BDD rules. So how you guys can see that the feature file looks like this. So you have to install the particular plugins. Go to the settings, plugins, install Cucumber for Java. This plugins you can install. Okay, so that you guys can see that the feature file look like this. So I am assuming that you guys have an idea on how to write the feature file. If you don't have an idea how to write the feature file or how to use the Cucumber for test automation, just comment on this video so that I will create another video so that you guys can have an idea how you guys can use Cucumber for test automation. Okay, in the feature file you guys can see that this is a very small scenario I have written. Okay, and I'm not going to in the detail part why I am using BDD and what is the purpose of using BDD. Okay, this is a very common practice these days. We are using BDD. That's why I have taken Cucumber for BDD. Okay. Next step is that identify the app package and app activity details. To identify app activity and app packages, open the app in your mobile, connect the device with your laptop or computer, run this command so that it will return you the app. It is whatever the app is open in your device, it will give you the current app package and the activity. Okay, if you have any confusion, just see my past Appium tutorials. You will get an idea how to use this command. Okay, the next step is that write the driver factory. This is my driver factory. If you guys can see that I have written the driver factory class under the util file folder. You guys can ask me why I am using the utils. Okay, so this class is an utility class. That's why I have placed this one under the utils folder or the package. Okay, so to create the Appium driver factory, I am using the Singleton design pattern here to create the driver object. Why I am using Singleton design pattern? There is a video I have created why the Singleton design pattern is very important to create driver factory or driver object. You guys can see that video. Okay, actually I am giving a very brief idea on that one. So using Singleton design pattern, we are restricting to create object from outside of the class, and also we are giving if the object is already created, so it will not create any other object. So it is very important when we are creating a test automation framework that we should maintain a single driver object throughout the automation process. It should not create any other driver object. That's why I am following the Singleton design pattern here. And also you guys can see that these 3 things, that app package, app activity and the device name, I am getting this value from other file. So I have introduced one configuration.properties file under the resource folder. If I open this file, you can see that there is a 4 thing is available: app package, app activity, device name and report config path. I'll come this last one later. Why I am giving this thing separately in a properties file? Because whatever we face that sometimes the developer, they are changing the package name or the activity name, and it's very common that not only we are not using the same device all the time, we are keep changing the device for automation, so that we don't have to edit our class. So that's why these three things I have make this one separately. I am writing under the properties file, so that we can change this thing without touching the class. To read that properties file, I have written another file, and I have placed this one under the utils package, for the same cause that this one is an utility class. Okay, so inside that utility class, you guys can see that I have written one static method. It will, if you pass the property name, it will parse the configuration.property file, and based on the property name, it will return the value of that particular property. If you see that though I have written the method as a static method, that's why using the class name, I am calling that method, and I am passing the property name, that is app package, app activity, and the device name, and it is returning me the value. This is the method when I am creating the driver object. This is the class. Next is that write the TestNG runner file. If you can see that I have created one package, that runner, under the Java. Okay, inside that I have created the class TestNG runner. You guys can give any name, that's not necessary. So here is the point. So when you are creating the TestNG runner file, so I am using the cucumber option, this tag here. Inside this tag, I am giving the feature, glue, tags, format, and plugins. Okay, so for the feature, I am giving the path of the folder. I am not giving the particular feature file name here, so that if you guys can write multiple feature file, so based on the tag name, whatever the tag name you have mentioned here for the tag, based on that one, it will start searching inside all the feature file. Okay, that's why I have mentioned here only the feature folder, that is under src test resources features. Glue means where we have to mention the step definitions. Okay, so here also I am not mentioning any particular class. What I am mentioning, that I am mentioning the only the package name, though the package name is inside the Java, so that's why I am giving only the package name steps. Okay, whatever the package is available inside the test Java, you have to give that name, you have to write that name only. Now come to the tag part. So if you can see my feature file, I have used this tag here, that Skyscanner. You guys can use multiple tag for scenario, for feature also. Okay, and you guys can give comma and write multiple tag name here. Okay, it's not necessary that you have to give only one tag. Now come to the format. This format is required to create the test report. Okay, and this is the plugins. This plugins, one plugins is create the test cucumber test report to create the JSON one, and for this one I'll come this part later. Now come to the TestNG runner class. Here what I have created, that I have created TestNG cucumber runner. You guys can see that cucumber API TestNG for this one, and I have created one method, that is, and I have given the TestNG tag before class. It will always run true, and what I am creating, that I am creating the object for TestNG cucumber runner. Okay, and giving the parameter as a this.get class. And next, under the test method, this is my test method. Okay, so these are the thing you have to mention. So this is the cucumber feature. Okay, cucumber feature dot get cucumber feature, so that it will automatically get the cucumber feature. And here I am mentioning the group as a cucumber, description, run cucumber feature, data provider, features. Okay, and for data provider I have given this one to provide the features. It will return the object. Okay, 2D array type object. And under the tear down classes, I have written the TestNG cucumber runner dot finish. So it will finish the task. And next is that this is in the line number 15. You guys can see that there is a reporter. I'll come this part later. Why I have written this one. Okay. So this is my TestNG runner class. Next it's that run the feature file to generate the step definitions. Okay, you guys don't have to write the step definitions. So suppose I have written okay, let's go to the steps. So what I am doing, that I am deleting this methods. If I delete this method, you guys can see that, so they are saying that the step definitions are missing. Okay, and you guys, if you hover on that one, undefined step reference. Okay, so how to create that one? You can create directly like this inside this one. You guys can see that you can create like this, but I would refer you guys, I would suggest you guys that run the feature file, because sometimes it's not creating properly through the IDE. Run this feature through the TestNG runner. Though I have already this two file step definitions are available for these two steps, so it will run these two steps. After that it will create the rest of the steps, create the method for the rest of the steps. So it has been done the test. So you guys can see that the steps definition methods are getting created. Okay, you can just copy and paste it here, just removing these things. Once you save this one, go to the feature file. You guys can see that the yellow highlight option is not there. If you press Ctrl on your keyboard and tap on, just hover your mouse on the steps, you can see that the steps are available. If you click on that one, it will take you to the particular steps for that step definition method for that particular step. Okay. So next is that identify the object. So identify the object using Appium inspector. Okay, so if you have any doubt on this one, just comment below, or if you can see my earlier videos also. Next step is that create the page object class following the page object model. To use the page object model, I have created one package inside Java that is called pages. You guys can give any other name. Okay, or like you guys can give a name like that, page objects or Pom, suppose like that. So inside that page package, I have created one class, flight search page. So what is Pom? Pom is page object model. This one I am giving a very brief idea on this one. This one is a design pattern in Selenium, so that it creates an object repository for storing all web elements for a particular screen. So we are segregating like that one. Okay, so if you guys can see this class name, it's for flight search page. So whatever the object and whatever the operations we will do for flight search page, so I'll write all of those things inside this class, so that it will help us to maintain the entire thing very easily. So inside this class, so I am going slowly. So here I am going to initialize the driver. How? So if I have given Appium driver as a null, and I am giving the Appium driver dependent factory, and I am calling this method, okay, to get instance of the driver factory. If I go inside this method, you guys can see that if the instance of the driver is null, what is this one? This one. If it is null, then it will call the, to create the object of this class, means that it will create the Appium driver. Okay. And I have written another, I have actually in your declaring another variable, that is Android utils for Android util class. I'll come this part later. These two are the objects I have identified. Okay. Next, the method is I have written launch app. So what is launch app? Inside the launch app, I am actually calling the driver here. So Appium driver factory dot get driver. If I go inside this class, so it will actually return the driver object. Whatever the driver object is getting created, okay, that driver object will get returned here. Okay. And now come to the Android util part. What is Android util? So this Android util class, I have written all the interaction with the device, actual interaction, how the interaction will happen with the device. Those method I have written here. Just like that, I guys can show you. Wait until element located. Sometimes we have to wait until the element get located. Okay, suppose the screen is get loading on the loading status on that time. So you guys can write this code directly inside your page object class or inside the method, whatever the method you are writing for automation. But why I am making this method separate, so that we can reuse this method. Okay, so whatever the method is required to reuse, okay, that methods I am making a method using those code and using that the piece of coding, so that we can reuse those things. So many methods I have written here. Suppose I can give another example. So suppose you have to enter a value in a text box. These methods are very common methods. So you have to write all of this piece of this code to enter a value inside enter a value for a text box. Okay. So instead of that one, I am creating this method. So you have to pass the text and you have to pass the object element, so that if this method will do the interaction with the device, enter the text in the text box, and it will return you, if it is getting success, it will return you the Boolean value. That's why I have created this Android util class. So it's best practice to segregate your regularly used methods in a separate class and reuse those methods. This is the very important part of an test automation framework. You guys can see that there is a different methods I have written. Okay, validate screen, using the screen name I am validating that one. So you guys can ask me why I have written this XPath here instead of writing here. So these XPaths are the static XPaths, but when the dynamic XPath is getting required, so that you have to write or you have to create those dynamic XPath during the operations. That's why I have creating this XPath here. Actually the object, not only the XPath, the object, using the XPath I am creating the object here in the line number 31. Okay, because I am trying to making this method, so you guys also try to make methods such, write the method such like a way so that you can reuse those methods. So I am writing this method like giving the method name is as a validate screen, so that I can, using the screen name, I can validate any screen. Okay, and I am also making the dynamic XPath such like that way, so that you guys can see that I am using the content description. Okay, and I am giving the screen name. Okay, try to write the method such like so that you can reuse the method in later. Okay, and several times I am giving this statement again and again. Okay, and also I am using here, you guys can see here also I am using TestNG assertion. Okay, so if it is app getting launched properly, so it will, I am making this one true, and I am making a message application launched successfully, otherwise it unable to launch the application. So now I am coming to this method. What is this method? Android util.objectAge. As I already told that multiple utility methods I have written under the Android util class. Let's go to this method. What it is doing, object exists, it is taking the by object. Okay, and it's validating the using find elements, the size equals to 0. If it is 0 means that the element is not present, object is not present in the screen. Okay, then it will return false, otherwise it will return true. And if it is getting failed during searching the object, okay, for any kind of exception. So it will throw the exception, also it will return the false. Okay, same thing like that using validate screen also I have using this method, so that screen object is getting visible on it's present in the screen or not. Okay, if you guys have any doubt on any piece of code, just comment on this video so that I can answer. Let's go to the next. So I have already covered this one, create utility class to interact with devices. This one also I have covered, that write automation code in the page class. Now the part is that integrate the page class and the step definitions. Now come to the step definition. Sometimes you guys can see that people are writing code inside the step definitions. So I'm not telling that it's not good or something like that, but it's not a best practice. So when you are creating an automation framework, so it's a very good practice that you are segregating your automation code into a separate class and you are segregating your step definition in a separate class. Okay, so that's why I am keeping those things in a two different class. So here what I am doing, that I am just creating an object of the flight search page class, and inside the method you guys can see that there is a first step is that given I launch the application, inside that method I am calling this method that flight search page dot launch app. So I have already explained this piece of code. Same I have doing this one here. These are the blank pages. I didn't write this code. Okay, you guys can use Skyscanner and you guys can write the code, complete this code. You guys can, if you want to validate, you guys can send to me also so that I can validate and I can give you an feedback on this one. Okay, next step is that run the code. Okay, so we have, as I have already shown you guys, that we have to run the code from TestNG runner file. So this is the TestNG runner file. I have already explained you guys that what it is. Okay, so if I run this one, so what it will do, it will fetch the, actually we cannot run the feature file directly. Okay, so this TestNG is a bridge kind of thing. So based on TestNG will load the feature file, check the scenarios, whatever the scenarios available in the feature file based on the tag name, whatever the tag name we have given here. Okay, based on the tag name it will look for the particular scenario. From that scenario it will run that scenario and it will try to figure out that particular step definitions for that particular step. Let's run the code. As you guys can see that one scenario 1 passed, 5 steps passed, scenario 1 passed. It takes 18.653 seconds. Now come to the very important part, that is reporting. Reporting is one of the very important part of an automation framework. Okay, because we have to share the automation report with our seniors, with the management. Sometimes we have to share the automation report with the clients also. So we have to create the one, when you are writing the automation code or creating automation framework, you have to create some, because we cannot share these things with the management or the managers or the clients. Okay, the logs. So that's why I am using here extend report. To use extend report, 2-3 things are very important. That one is that one, this extend.config XML file. You can place this XML file inside the resource folder directly, or you can use just like whatever I am doing, that I am placing this one inside a folder that configs. What it is, this is an extend config XML. You guys can download this one from internet. This is the basic structure of your of the report. Actually, you guys can give the document title, as I have given the document title, reporting name. You guys can mention the date format here. Okay, these are the dynamic part. They will load this the script, and they will load using this XML. They will load this XML and they will integrate, append the generated part actually. Okay, next part is that this extend properties file. This properties file you have to give inside the resource folder. You have to place inside the resource folder, and you have to write these two part. Okay, and third one, that inside the TestNG runner and also in the Pom, you have to make sure that these two dependencies are available. Okay, and in the TestNG class, under the plugins, you have to insert this piece of code, so that what it is, based on the Cucumber listener, it will take the Cucumber JSON file, it will load based on the Cucumber JSON file, it will create a report named report.html under the target Cucumber reports. Okay, and another very important thing, after class what I am doing, that reporter.load config, what it is doing, it is loading the XML configuration file. What XML configuration file? This XML configuration file. And where I have mentioned this one, in the configuration.properties file, I have mentioned this one, that report config path, like this. You guys can use like this. Okay, now you guys can ask me that why we cannot give the direct path here. You guys can give the direct path here, but again I can say you guys that if you have to change anything in the extend config XML file, or you have to rename this file, you have to edit the class. That is not a good practice, that is very bad practice. Or during the CI/CD, once you integrate this code with the CI/CD, you cannot change in the Java file, but you can change in the configuration file, configuration.properties file. That's why we are keeping all of those things inside the configuration.properties file. That's why I am again using the config.file reader. I am reading that configuration.properties file, and I am sending the property name report config path. It will return that particular path of this XML, and based on that one it will load. Okay, it will load and it will create the report. So this is the sample report. The last run, I'm just reloading this one. Okay, this is the last one I have written. When we last run the our automation code, this kind of report will get generated. Okay, you guys can search here also. This is the status, this is the category. You can, through this one, you guys can see this one. If you go to the dashboard, it will give a very good overview of your automation. Okay, so, and this is a single file. You guys can easily, if you go here under the target, as you mentioned here on the TestNG runner, Cucumber reports, this report.html file is available. Okay, and you, though it is a one single file, you guys can share with anyone. Okay, in the Allure, why I am preferring extend instead of Allure report? For the Allure report, we cannot share the Allure report with, it's very difficult to share actually, because it will generate a folder with JavaScript and CSS and other things also. So it's very difficult to share actually with other people. Okay, now next part is very important part, is that configure your pom.xml so that you can run from command prompt, or you can integrate your automation project with CI/CD. Inside the Pom, what you have to do, you have to make an entry of the build. Okay, with all these details, with all these Maven plugins, and you have to mention the Java version also. Okay, and inside the configuration suite XML. So before this one, you have to create TestNG runner XML file inside your resource folder. Okay, this is your TestNG runner XML file. Okay, So inside this one you guys can give these things. Okay, I'm editing the thing, that's it. Okay, changing here the runner file. Okay, it will automatically, if you write the package name runners, it's coming dot testng runner. Okay, that's it. So using this one, so you have to mention your XML file path here inside the resource folder. Okay, using the testng runner file also you guys can run your code. Okay, and in the Pom you have to write this one, and you have to give the plugin to generate the Cucumber report also. So what is the benefit of this one? Okay, if you open terminal, okay, if you want to run the code from Maven, mvn test, just write mvn test. So you can see that the testing has been started. Okay, so based on your using your testng runner XML file, it will trigger the automation. So when you integrate your codebase with CI/CD pipeline, using this Maven command, you can integrate your codebase with Maven test using with the CI/CD, Jenkins or Circle CI, like that, or Bitbucket. Okay. The report I have already shown you guys to you. So thank you. If you have any question for this video, just do a comment on this video, and there is a task is also there. You guys have to complete this one. Okay, if you have any doubt, just do a comment. Okay, and I'll upload the codebase also into the Git and share with you guys. Thank you.